We have entered the season of Cancer, and if you are wondering what this season has in store for you, stick around. We're going to use the tarot and oracle to figure that out. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't met me yet, I am Leesa. I'm a certified tarot consultant, and here on this channel I do Tarotscope readings like this one, guided meditations, month ahead readings, pick a card readings, pretty much anything that is tarot related. And I'm so happy that you are here this season to discuss the season of Cancer that we have just recently moved into. So while I'm going ahead and getting ready and set up, I'm going to spend just a little bit of time talking about the season of Cancer and what we can expect from that. If you are new to my readings, this has really two parts. First, we are going to have the zodiac signs that I'll pull a single card for, and then we will move to the oracle card at the end. If you have never done one of these before and you do not know how they work, I have a great video to help you just understand that and understand a little bit more about what I do with my Tarotscope readings, and I'll include the link up here as well as down below. So if you haven't seen that, I would definitely suggest just taking a look at that and making sure you understand how I do my Tarotscopes. And if you are unsure as to how to find your sun, moon, or rising sign, that is where you would go to figure that out. And those are the three signs that I suggest that you use while you're looking at your Tarotscope. So while I am getting ready and while I'm shuffling, let's discuss what we are all likely to run across in the season of Cancer. So Cancer starts in the northern hemisphere at the start of the season of summer. So I know where I am right now, it's been really hot. We've been looking at days in the low 90s and mid 90s, and it's been really warm and humid here. But it's interesting because Cancer is ruled by the moon, and it is all about this idea of cardinal water, so new water, or sort of that new spring of water, that primordial water. And so oftentimes this time of year, especially being ruled by the moon, can be really, really emotional. It's the only sign that's actually ruled by the moon, which makes it a really interesting time of year. For those of you that have a lot of Cancer influences or are actually really influenced by the moon, you may find that the moon plays a bigger part in your day-to-day life, your day-to-day moods than normal this particular season. And that just might be the case every year as you kind of move through things. Those people, Cancer energy in general, and those of you that have a lot of Cancer in your chart, and we all have it in there somewhere, but you will find that wherever Cancer is in your chart and whatever is there, you might kind of spiral in towards ideas or themes in that portion of your chart. Cancer very rarely just kind of goes straight at something. Typically, it kind of finds its way around. Think of the way a crab sort of kind of skitters sideways as it's sort of trying to review or think or consider something. And that's kind of a good way to think about how Cancer energy sort of approaches stuff. So anytime you have a cardinal sign, it has a lot to do with like newness and new beginnings, and with water, of course, we're focusing oftentimes on new things in regards to emotions or relationships. So hopefully you are ready to go. What I'm going to do, guys, is put the timestamps down below. I always start with Aries and work my way around. So what you will want to do is take a look at your sun, moon, and rising, and then skip to the end of the video where I will finish this off with an oracle card for everyone there. So while I am continuing to shuffle and getting ready, go ahead and find those timestamps while you're down there. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and I will see you at your particular sign. All right, so as usual, we are going to start with Aries. All right, Aries. And by the way, if you have Aries as your sun, moon, or rising, it is square in the sky with Cancer. So this might be kind of a rough time of year for you, depending on if this is your sun, moon, or rising, every year in regards to that particular planetary placement or that placement for you, just because when you have a square in the sky, astrologically, it oftentimes means tension or things that can be a bit difficult. So we are looking at the 9 of Rods, but reversed. So guys, what I would say for you for Aries, and what a fiery card. When I see this card, I'm seeing a lot of things that you may have I'm seeing this idea of things that you thought were complete or thought were close to done. You're like hitting the finish line on things that you were feeling really good about. And of course, whether this is your sun, moon, or rising is going to really kind of determine what area of your life you're talking about. But I'm seeing this idea of thinking something was close to finished and having it not be, having to sort of rewind and rework or reconsider something. So like I said, sun, moon, or rising, think about how this might impact you in regards to that placement. But take a look again, and I would suggest that you might be proactive in reconsidering because as you can see, this is not a great reaction here. So if you wait for things to come to a head, that may be a bit more difficult. So I would be a bit proactive. Just kind of double check things, make sure that everything's in line. All right, moving to Taurus. Taurus, what is in store for you this season? Okay, so what a very practical card for Taurus, and I love this. Taurans, you know, it's a very earthy card, right? And whether this is your sun, moon, or rising is going to, of course, indicate kind of how this is impacting you in your chart. But I sort of, I'm laughing a bit because if you look at his face, he sort of has this no-nonsense face. And so Cancer is this season that can kind of be all over the place and sort of fluid and whatnot. And this card right here, the 8 of Coins, is all about practicality and getting to work and doing what needs to be done. So if you, wherever you have Taurus in your chart, take whatever that aspect of your life is and just really make sure that you're focusing on very practical things in regards to that this season. Don't get sort of swept away with that very kind of watery feel and sort of kind of circular feel of Cancer that we often see. Just go right towards it, be very practical, and that is going to help you in regards to that area of your life, Taurus. All right, moving on to Gemini. For you, oh wow, I was going to say fire, Ace of Wands for you. What a fantastic card. I love this because this is a very, you know, we are in a season of cardinal water in regards to Cancer, and this is a card about new starts. So this is interesting because we have this very watery season, but then we have a very fiery start to things. So I see a lot of passion, you know, and if you take fire and water and put them together, you get a lot of steam. So depending on if this is your sun, moon, or rising, that may or may not mean something to you, having a very steamy Cancer season. But I would say, guys, take a look at if this is your sun, moon, or rising. Where is that hitting in your chart? What does that mean for you? And think about how you can put more passion into your life in that area. What new starts, what new things can you tackle? This is an exciting card, and this is a jump in and think later type of attitude. So that's what you need to bring into this season. Consider that and how you can bring that forth. All right, let's move on to Cancer. And if this is your sun sign, happy birthday, Cancer. Wow, King of Wands. King of Wands, what a fiery, fiery card for a watery, watery time of year. You know what? You are in your element, not the element of fire, but the idea of this King card. Kings are very, very confident with where they are. They feel very comfortable with where they are. They feel good about you know, what they have achieved and what knowledge they have and where they can go from where they're at. So I would say think about if this is your sun, your moon, or your rising, and consider those things that you feel like you are the master of or feel at least really confident about this month in regards to that aspect of your life. So if it's your sun, your moon, or your rising, how is that impacting you? What do you feel confident with? And I think that is what this message is. Move ahead in confidence. As I talked in the intro, a lot of times Cancer sort of has this sort of shifting circular way of approaching problems and ideas. And the King of Staffs is always going to run kind of headlong into things, confident and knowing what is there. So I would say don't take too long thinking about things that you're passionate about and feel confident about. Just go towards those things and take those head on. All right, moving on to Leo. Okay, Leo, we have the Eight of Vessels for you. So when we see the Eight of Vessels in this particular deck, to me, it's a time of sort of reassessing. It's a time of returning to those things that work for you and are important to you. This is a watery card during a watery season. So whether this is your sun, moon, or rising, of course, is going to indicate kind of what aspect of your life you're looking at. But this, to me, is saying, you know, it's important to use those things that you have in the past, use what you know, use your foundation to start shaping those things in your future the way that you want it to be. Okay, return to those things that work for you and be willing to sort of shape and mold things into something new if necessary. So think about how that impacts that portion of your chart this month. Okay, moving on to Virgo. All right, Virgo, we have the Three of Swords, but it's reversed, which to me means this idea of kind of moving away from either something very hurtful. So if this is your sun, moon, or rising, think about what aspect of your life this would be impacting. But this can mean very simply kind of getting over things that have been very difficult for you. This can also, sort of depending on what the situation is, it can indicate allowing your heart to sort of run away with things that your mind should really be ruling over. So once again, think about where this is sitting in your chart, where this Virgo energy is. Virgo, oftentimes you tend to be very practical. Just this energy does in general. So, you know, think about how this is impacting it. Either you're allowing your heart to kind of run away with things, or the flip side of this, the alternate, could be this idea of sort of getting over something. This might be the season to get over something that's been very painful for you in the past. All right, moving on to Libra. And Libra, if this is your sun, moon, or rising, it means that right now the sun is sitting square in the sky to Libra, and that means that this could be a time of tension every year for that particular part of your chart. So let's see what we get for you. And we have the Six of Vessels. Guys, this is interesting. Ooh, as I drop the card. This is really interesting because there is this concept of, you know, feeling as though you have a solid past to build on, and that there's this idea of safety and feeling comfort in this area of your life, whatever this is, your sun, your moon, or your rising. The fact that this is a season of the year that deals with water, and the fact that we have a card, you know, coming out of the suit of water, tells me that there's a level of comfort this month. I would say for you, you know, for many of you, you're going to be in a good enough situation this month that the feelings that you have in this area where you feel comforted or you feel comfortable will be enough for you to be able to sort of share those things with other people. So consider how, if you have an excess or you have a bounty, how you might be able to share those with others, and you know, just be able to share that level of comfort with other people. All right, moving on to Scorpio. Scorpio, we have the Nine of Wands, but reversed. I'm seeing a lot of Wands cards, which is really interesting, guys, because we are in a season of water, and yet we're seeing a lot of fire, which is, you know, you can say that this is smoke, but when you have water and fire together, you get steam. So that's kind of interesting there. What a passionate card. But then again, guys, it's on its head. So what I'm going to say for you is, you know, you are in a situation right now, whether this is your sun, moon, or rising is going to kind of depend on how you are looking at this. But some of you are going to be kind of standing there and looking at the things that you have managed to accumulate and those things that you have managed to collect over time. And there is a fear that some of this stuff might be slipping away from you, or a fear that things are changing. Okay. As things change, as things move ahead, you know, in order to have growth, things cannot stay the same. And there's going to be this fear of losing out, or this fear of losing something, or this fear of something changing. And I think this card is a warning for you to be very careful about that. So think about where this sits in your chart, sun, moon, or rising, and how can you sort of prepare for that feeling and then move away from that feeling of fear moving throughout the season. All right, moving into Sagittarius. All right, Sag, you have the Emperor, but it is reversed. Okay, here is what I'm going to tell you. Cancer, like I said, this is a cardinal water sign that's very emotional. It's all about kind of moving with the tides, right? The moon kind of comes in, it goes out, it goes in, it goes out. The Emperor likes things to be solid and firm foundation, but it's on its head. So I'm telling you, whether this is your sun, moon, or rising, think about where that's sitting and start, I don't know, rocking the boat, to use another water metaphor. Start flipping things on its head, start moving things around, break down some walls, move some things around, and be willing to kind of change your perspective on things. All right, that's what I'm seeing. Now, where that is in your chart is going to kind of determine where you're making some of those changes, but that is what I suggest for you. All right, Capricorn. And if you are a Capricorn or have Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising, know that the sun is directly across from you right now. So what that means that is every year that you could be dealing with sort of this push-pull in regards to Capricorn and Cancer being, you know, directly across from each other. So look for some tension, look for some kind of back and forth for you, maybe every year in regards to that, depending on, you know, what aspect of your life this is hitting. But all right, we get the High Priestess. What a great card in a season that deals a lot with the moon. So Capricorn energy is often very, very practical, right? It's very practical. It's very grounded. You know, it's very earthy, but it is also, if I'm not forgetting and if I'm not misremembering, it is a cardinal sign as well. So I think what that is telling you, so you have this cardinal earth, you have this cardinal water, and I think what this is telling you is, you know, tap into that idea of new starts and new beginnings, but be willing to look more at your intuition versus always being so focused on sort of that grounded energy. So whether this is your sun, moon, or rising is going to help you kind of determine where this is going to impact you, but definitely consider that piece. Listen to your intuition, listen to your kind of internal insights, even if it's not founded on anything right away. All right, moving to Aquarius. Aquarius, for you, we have the Fool, but it is reversed. Okay, so I mentioned at the start of this video that sometimes, you know, Cancer season can be, you know, very emotional, and it can be very kind of roundabout in the way that it approaches things. I would see that very much as, in some ways, you know, sort of this idea, this Fool card, this idea of, you know, something brand new energy kind of moving out, sort of wandering around and meandering, but it's on its head here. So what that is telling me is that for you, this season, it's almost saying don't be too Cancer-like in your behaviors when it comes to your sun, moon, or rising, whatever that is. Be aware that perhaps you may be really susceptible to the energy of the season, but it's asking you not to take it too far. Okay, it's asking you not to go too far with sort of that meandering, emotional, tidal type of way of behaving. So just keep that in your mind based on whatever sign that is for you. All right, and then finally taking a look at Pisces. And Pisces, we get the Two of Coins for you. So what this is telling you, and this is kind of funny, guys, because if you look at the Pisces symbol, you know, you got the two fish, and it kind of reminds me that just a little bit here. So what this is saying to you this month, guys, is to really keep an eye on that balance. Definitely make sure that you're being very balanced. Being a water sign, you may feel naturally sort of at home during Cancer season, And this is just asking you to make sure that as you move through the month, you don't allow yourself to get swept up too much, that you stay in balance. Whether this is your sun, moon, or rising, of course, is going to be sort of indicative of where you're going to see this energy. But the Two of Coins is this idea of balance, but also needing to juggle stuff, right? I mean, oftentimes you're dealing with two opposites and you're trying to make them work for you. So this might be a month where you're trying to, juggle things and keep everything, up in the air, so to speak. So keep that in mind, keep things in balance for you, Pisces. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and clear the table, and when I do, we will move to our oracle card, and I will see you there. All right, so on to the second part of the reading. No matter what sign you are, this is where you can get a bit of extra clarity on the month. So your intuition has a big part to play. So while I'm shuffling, take a few deep breaths and get into that fuzzy or kind of spacey headspace. By the way, guys, I love to hear what type of people watch the videos. So let me know what your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign are. I would love to know that. If you are a Cancer, let me know that as well. And happy birthday if you are. And if you have not given this a thumbs up, I would definitely appreciate that. It definitely helps the channel. Okay. All right. So hopefully you have tuned in to your intuition and you're feeling like you're in that sort of fuzzy headspace. So I just want you to take a quick look at these three cards. And this card that I'm going to flip here in just a quick second is going to have a message for one of three things for you. So this is number 1, number 2, and number 3. So take a deep breath in. Okay. If you chose card number 1, then this oracle card is a message for your spirit. If you chose number 2, it's a message for your heart. And number 3 is a message for your head. And I just wanted to simply look at an additional piece of energy that you should bring into Cancer season. And the card that we get is New Beginnings. And I love that for the season of Cancer. And look, there's even a moon here in the back. And I think I mentioned, we're talking about this idea of cardinal water, new things. It's the beginning of a new season. So think about what type of new things you can bring into your life. I mean, look, we're looking here at a door that's just opening up into this beautiful landscape in the background. So what type of beautiful things can you bring into your life? This is just kind of across the board, no matter what sign you are. Really think about the season as a time of year for new beginnings. How can you step into that? What can you bring into your life? And how can you be more proactive in that way? And that is it, guys. I so appreciate you being here. I hope that you got something out of this reading. Let me know down below how it impacted you, and I will see you next time.